Welcome back. With all the noise going on between Tucker and Candace's craziness and all these things that are happening and accusations going back and forth on the right, I thought I would do something a little different today and just take a look at how Tucker launders Candace's crazy when they both benefit from this. Why Candace's conspiracies are a perfect cover for Tucker's grift, and the conspiracy pipeline and how Candace Owens feeds Tucker Carlson. As we all know, in the last couple of weeks, Candace on November 22nd came out and put a tweet out there saying, in short, this person, if I can get this maybe even bigger for you. It says, in short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. So Candace last week claimed that the Macrons, President Macron and his wife from France, had put out a hit on her and that she was going to get assassinated. That's a wild claim from Candace Owens. But what if I told you it wasn't just some random off-the-wall post? What if it's actually a key part of a finely tuned media machine, that's designed to pump out narratives for people like Tucker Carlson and make them both a whole lot of money? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the conspiracy pipeline and showing you exactly how this works. So she kicked off the claim so bizarre that it's disconnected from reality, that you can't help but pay attention. On November 22nd, Candace alleged that the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, and his wife had ordered her assassination. She claimed a high-ranking official, and you'll see this here on this slide. I'm going to enlarge that. A high-ranking official claimed official tipped her off that a team from the elite police unit GIGN, which is in English National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, was given the green light, and even said that an Israeli operative was involved. The next day, she doubled down, alleged payments were routed through a high-end Parisian dining club. Let's be clear, Owens offers zero verifiable evidence for any of this. No documents, no recordings, just her word. French, Israeli, and U.S. authorities haven't confirmed a single part of her story. So what's really going on here? Why make up such an extreme, unsupported accusation? The answer isn't just about one tweet. It's about a business model. This is the story of a conspiracy pipeline, an assembly line for outrage that starts with Candace Owens, gets amplified and validated by Tucker Carlson, and ultimately works to enrich them both by capturing an audience that feels lost in the world today that they don't recognize anymore. This assassination claim didn't just appear out of thin air. It's a classic escalation. To get it, you have to look at the pattern. For months, Owens has been relentlessly pushing a baseless conspiracy theory that Bridget Macron was born a man. And this was one of the videos that she and Tucker had out. And then you have people, this is all part of the grift. You have Joe Rogan saying, yes, I believe that Bridget Macron is a man. And then a few days later, you have Tucker come out and say, yes, he believes, because watching her videos, that Bridget Macron is a man. In response to the theory being spread, Bridget Macron has already filed lawsuits in France and announced in March of 24, over a year ago, her intention to pursue further legal action, with many seeing Owens as a likely target. As a matter of fact, she told Tucker in a video not too long ago that the lawsuit that they sent her was 200 pages. That's quite a lawsuit. Instead of backing down, Owens reframed the entire situation. The backlash wasn't a consequence of her spreading falsehoods. It was proof that she was right. She positioned herself as a brave truth teller, being silenced by a foreign government for daring to speak out. This is a core tactic. You make a sensational, unproven claim. When you get heat for it, you don't retreat. You frame the backlash itself as proof the conspiracy. You become a victim. It's a playbook she leaned into hard, especially since leaving the Daily Wire in March of 2024. That split happened after growing friction with co-founder Ben Shapiro over the increasingly controversial rhetoric, especially about Israel. Here's how it was framed at the time.
Absolutely disgraceful for her commentary on Israel. The comment was made in a video that circulated online this week.
Yes, the question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this is disgraceful. Without a doubt, I think it's
Owens responded with a cryptic tweet citing scripture, which included one eyebrow-raising line, "You cannot serve both God and money." Shapiro fired back in his own tweet on Wednesday night, telling Candace to quit if she feels her work at the Daily Wire comes between her and God.
So there you had the start of her fight with Ben Shapiro. After she left, she celebrated her new freedom. Freed from any remaining guardrails of a mainstream conservative outlet, Owens became a fully independent creator. And in the modern media economy, that freedom comes with a relentless pressure to keep your audience hooked. The simplest way to do that is constant escalating provocation. So here you have, for example, you have Candace in the background, Tucker talking about Candace's accusations that Macron is a man. And so he has other people on other videos with him. And then he discusses and legitimizes what Candace is saying on his own videos without her. He does it with her also, but by inviting other guests on and talking about it with other guests, that just continues to escalate and legitimize her story. So this brings us to a really important idea for understanding today's media world: audience capture. Think of it as a feedback loop. A creator chasing engagement starts catering more and more to the extreme parts of their audience. The algorithm rewards them with views, and the audience praises them for being brave. So, and if you look at tweets around Candace, she's so brave and it's so serious, and people need to protect her. And that's what happens. So the creator pushes the envelope even further, eventually getting trapped by the extreme persona their audience demands. And that's where we are. This is the engine that drives the conspiracy pipeline. How an audience interacts, how a community interacts, and everything comes from to the creator. Everybody looks to the creator. Here, people look in a community to each other and then to the creator. This engine drives, Owens is the perfect person to supply the raw material. She creates the initial explosive claims, whether it's about Brigitte Macron or a French-Israeli hit squad, often hinting at some hidden powerful group pulling the strings. And that's where Tucker steps in. After his exit from Fox News, Carlson also went independent, free from the old rules. His business model, just like Owens, is all about keeping his audience engaged. He acts as an ideological launderer, a tactic Ben Shapiro himself has explicitly described. And I think I did a video on that, calling it a process where you bring the dirty, ugly ideologies to Tucker Carlson's rhetorical car wash to soften them and give them a massive signal boost. He doesn't have to go sign every wild detail of her claims. He operates one level above that. His job is to validate the story around the claims. When Owens gets criticized, Tucker can bring her on the show or do these other shows as I just showed you, not to fact check her assassination plot, but to talk about the persecution she's facing. He can paint all the criticism from the media as proof that she's over the target. He turns a reckless conspiracy theorist into a free speech martyr. The message to his viewers is simple. They are trying to silence Candace because she is telling truths they don't want you to hear. By defending her, Carlson strengthens his own brand as the ultimate outsider, the leader of a movement that's always under attack. The best example of this pipeline in action is their shared narrative around Israel. This was the issue that reportedly led to her departure from the Daily Wire, and she has leaned into it heavily ever since. Her rhetoric has grown more and more extreme, leading to accusations of anti-Semitism. But notice how she feeds this directly into Carlson, into a narrative Carlson consistently gives a platform to guests who are highly critical of Israel and amplifies narratives that question the influence of pro-Israel groups on U.S. policy. When Owens says something that sparks a firestorm, that firestorm is the point. Their captured audience sees two big names standing up to what they've been told is a powerful, untouchable force, such as AIPAC in Israel. Carlson can then cover the backlash Owens receives, framing it as establishment trying to crush anyone who steps out of line.
Good friend Candace Owens has been putting out some pretty wacko stuff, I would say, would be my opinion, on the death of Charlie. It's not helpful, is it, that, you know, at that time of incredible national upheaval, and obviously personal and familial family tragedy, to have someone like that picking apart the argument and suggesting that there are darker forces at play here that the US government have a hand in covering up. It just, can you see why people get upset by that and would like you perhaps to sort of distance yourself from that sort of thing?
Now notice,
notice
in the next clip here, how Tucker reacts. He asked him a question. It was a legitimate question about, don't you think that some of this is a little off the board? They actually were talking about, this had happened. This interview was after the Charlie Kirk assassination. And he was saying to Carlson, it's just after the shooting. Owens is coming up with all these crazy theories. She's testing everything. She's throwing out all this craziness. Don't you think that maybe you, as a friend, you could say to her, you know, cool it a little bit? And Tucker, you will see, not only defends her, he changes the subject. He attacks the interviewer. And look at his method of how he maneuvers and manipulates this and completely changes what the guy is trying to ask into something that Tucker wants to yeah, look at this. I find it disgusting.
Pretty funny. So am I going to attack Candace Owens because you
I'm not asking you to attack her.
I'm not going to do that.
He didn't ask her to attack. He simply said, don't you think that maybe you should talk to her about this or ask her to cool it down, not to attack her.
Harry. Probably not going to do that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt as a foreigner of not understanding our politics, but the whole ritual
complete insult.
You know this person said something I don't like. In order to be a good person, you must denounce this person.
That's not at all what the guy was asking or talking about. It's not about whether Candace is a good person or a bad person, or good thoughts or bad thoughts. He was simply asking about her escalation of some conspiracy theories and if it was a good time to be talking about that yet. So Tucker
obviously
completely
I would die before I played along with that. I don't know anyone who's saying that who was the moral authority to compel me. I don't know anyone saying that it was any moral authority at all. And I would say broadly, not about Candace, comma, whom I love, comma, but about all people. Getting to the truth is the most important thing. I've devoted my life to it. I haven't always done a very good job at all, but it still remains to this day my animating motive.
I find that laughable, of course, because we know that Tucker's truth is only what he wants it to be, and it's not really the truth. But this is how he's reframing everything and completely taking away, trying to just give her total cover.
Know what the truth is. Again, I don't always get there. I often usually don't get there, but I want to be the guy who cares what's true. A. B, if you're telling me that because the US government or some law enforcement agency issues a statement that doesn't even make sense, that I'm required somehow morally to accept that and not ask any questions like, can you hear yourself?
That wasn't the question. That just wasn't the question. That was not what was, that's not what he asked. Anyway, It's a perfect symbiotic relationship. Owens' extremism gives Carlson a never-ending stream of controversy to react to. Carlson's giant platform gives Owens' theories a sense of legitimacy they'd never get on their own. Together, they create a closed-off information bubble where their audience is protected from facts and fed a steady diet of anger and victimhood. So why do it? The easy answer is money. It's incredibly profitable. In today's media world, outrage is currency. Crazy claims drives clicks. Crazy claims drive clicks, shares, and subscriptions. Every lawsuit, every condemnation, every hit piece becomes another chance to rally the base against a common enemy and ask for support. Owens isn't just sharing opinions, she's building a brand as a fearless warrior for truth. That brand sells subscriptions to her show. Carlson, on top of one of the biggest podcasts in the world, and now Owens has become number one with her craziness, has perfected this. He's not just a host, he's the gatekeeper for a whole brand of right-wing thought. And the pipeline Owens provides is great for business. But it's more than just about money, it's about power. By creating this alternate reality for their fans, they get to shape what millions of people believe, not just about news stories, but about how the world works. They offer simple conspiratorial answers to complicated problems. They tell their audience that their feeling of being left behind is not their fault. It's a result of a secret war being waged on them by powerful evil forces, lots of times Jews and AIPAC. This is the ultimate product of the conspiracy pipeline. It is not a podcast or a video, it's a worldview. A worldview where our commentators' baseless claim about an assassination plot is not a sign of delusion, but a badge of honor. It's a worldview that keeps audiences angry, hooked, and most importantly, paying. This media strategy is reshaping politics in real time. But what do you think? Is all this a calculated business plan, or are they just speaking their minds? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And please do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the media machine. So in conclusion, far from a bizarre theory about the First Lady of France to a wild accusation of a state-sponsored hit, the path is obvious. Candace Owens has become a fire hose of raw, unsubstantiated conspiracies that are perfectly designed for the modern media landscape. But her claims are not the end of the story, they're just the beginning. They are the raw material fed into a pipeline that flows straight to platforms like Tucker Carlson and also Dave Smith's, and they all feed each other. There, the conspiracies get cleaned up, repackaged, and laundered into a grand story of good versus evil, of brave outsiders fighting a corrupt system. It's a story that captures audiences, hardens political identities, and makes tons of money. So don't mistake what you're seeing for the search of the truth. It's a highly effective, deeply cynical, and incredibly dangerous business. It's a machine that runs on division and distrust. And its builders have figured out that the attention economy, the wildest lies are often the most valuable. The real question we should all be asking is, what happens when that pipeline demands the next, even more extreme conspiracy? I hope you found this interesting. Again, please like and subscribe. That really means the world to me and really helps expand the channel. Check me out on X, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.